What is going on, guys? Sid here with another episode of 5-Minute Boss Battles. So guys, in today's episode we will be featuring this absolute stunner of a platformer. It's a run and gun platformer, Vectorman. So guys, this game came out in October of 1995. Right, and this was, if memory serves me right, this was when the Sega Genesis was starting to die out, and the trends were shifting heavily to 3D gaming. Right, so this was one of the first platformers that amazingly executed, not just well executed. This was one of the best executed, 3D games on a console at this time, in this time period. Right. So 3D gaming wasn't anything new to me in particular, because growing up we had PC games. My father was an engineer, so he used to fix Ataris. I owned a Nintendo Entertainment System, but most of my gaming around this time period was on the Sega Genesis, right? So it was the console wars at this point. During this era was really the Genesis versus the Super NES, right? You're either a Super NES kid growing up or a Sega Genesis kid growing up. So obviously you guys can tell which one I was, right? During this time period, right? So yeah, Vectorman. Let's get back on track. So Vectorman is kind of like a sci-fi hero. And he's pretty much, I think Terminator, right? If you guys recall this time period, Terminator 1 and 2 were the big hits in terms of sci-fi flicks, right? And a lot of futuristic stuff was going on around this time period, right? So Terminator 1 and 2, Terminator 2 kind of stole the show around this time period, right? And I remember just growing up, I used to watch Terminator 2 religiously. It was one of the only movies I owned growing up, right? Before I came to America, right? So a lot of the sci-fi stuff, right? A lot of the sci-fi intensive stuff, I was pretty big on. And Vectorman fell into that category, right? So very, very futuristic. And I'm actually just sitting here wondering, right? Because I think at the beginning, at the intro screen, I think it's like 2049. I'm just like thinking to myself, if we get to 2049, right, will it be anything like this game? Obviously not, right? But yeah, so Vectorman is the humble protagonist, and he's come back to Earth, right? He's set foot on Earth to take care of Warhead, right? One of the Orbots that has turned to the dark side. So guys, we run through this. We run through level 1 pretty fast, right? This game was very, very casual. It was a pick up and play. You can learn the controls in under 5 minutes, right? And you just knew what to do, right? And it was pretty much just memorizing, just like any game during this time. You just memorize the patterns, right, of movements, right, with every character model. It didn't vary too much, right? So the first boss, he just drops these bombs, and then you do the runs, right? But this is not really what I'm trying to feature, right? So 5-minute boss battles, right? If it's within 0 to 5 minutes and up to 10 minutes, right? So we do give some leeway there, and it helps us just kind of revisit the classics and just get a feel, try to jog our memories, right? And this is heavily, every millennial at this point, right, is probably going, yeah, oh yeah, I had that game. Like if you didn't, right? Damn, I feel sorry for you, man, because Vectorman did extend and prolong the life cycle of the Sega Genesis console right before 3D gaming took off. And it was pretty wild. It was pretty cool, right? It was a cool concept, and the pre-rendered 3D character models was pretty huge on the Sega Genesis console, right? Not too many games featured that, right? It was a lot of 2D games around this time. For me personally, I had a PC, so I played 3D games. This wasn't anything new to me, but on the console, it was really, really refreshing to see, right? Refreshing to see it executed so well. So guys, we get to this boss, right? Which is the boss I actually wanted to feature. The hit markers on this boss was so wild, right? So like the hit detection is so wild, right? So you can absolutely barely graze his hand, right? And the amount of damage you incurred was insane. But pretty easy boss to clear. But it was the one that stood out in my head, right? For some reason, it was so insanely fun to play. So guys, if you love this episode, do remember to hit subscribe and a like. Leave some feedback so we can do some more videos in the future while we wait for FIFA 22, right? So this is the series I love to do. It's a passion project, right? So guys, peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. It's been Sid. Cheers.